Nobody wants to admit this one, but that's fine. We need to talk about it anyway. You know that exact moment. The room goes quiet. Every pair of eyes turns to you, and your throat completely locks up. Someone just took a public shot at your expense, and you are frozen. Most people think the best response is a sharp comeback, but 90% of you are getting this entirely wrong, setting yourself up to be a permanent target. By the time you realize how they engineered that moment, it's already too late. To understand why you froze, we have to look at the silent script running in your head just seconds before the trap snaps shut. You force a hollow laugh, pretending it's just a joke, while your chest tightens and your face burns with a heat you can't hide. Everyone else moves on, but you carry that humiliation home in your pocket, replaying the scene 50 times in the shower, rewriting history with the perfect comebacks you never said. It's not just anger you're hiding from everyone, it's the quiet, crushing shame of feeling completely invisible in your own life. You want to be a person who commands natural authority, but instead, you feel like an extra in someone else's script. But your brain didn't freeze because you are weak. It froze because a primitive survival switch was flipped, and science explains exactly why. Remember when you were 7 on the playground and a group laughed at you? Your brain processed that social rejection using the exact same neural pathways it uses for physical pain. When someone insults you in front of a crowd today, your nervous system experiences it as an actual survival emergency. In fact, Washington University researchers found that a public status threat spikes your noradrenaline, a critical stress chemical, by up to 300% in less than 3 seconds. The sudden flood instantly triggers an amygdala hijack, completely bypassing your logical mind. Suddenly, your body is trapped in a fight-or-flight loop. This triggers what psychologists call an external locus of control, which is just a smart way of saying you handed the remote control of your emotions to a bully. Your brain treats their words like a literal physical weapon, paralyzing your ability to think clearly. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because the person attacking you isn't actually strong, they are playing a desperate game. Most people think the person humiliating you holds all the power, but it is not strength driving them. It is a profound, echoing fear. When you look at their smirk, you are not looking at confidence, but fear wrapped in aggression. Some of them learned to break others down because it was the only way they knew how to earn their own place in the room. They rely entirely on your compliance to make their theater work. It is not a display of high status, but a loud confession of deep emotional bankruptcy. They choose a public stage because they lack the genuine authority to confront anyone privately. And if you don't understand this hidden contrast, you'll keep making the same mistake for years, misinterpreting their desperate overcompensation as real dominance. Let me pause here because I need to tell you something that most social dynamics gurus are too proud to admit. Let me be entirely honest with you. For a long time, I was the person who let people walk all over me just to keep the peace. I know how degrading it feels to smile at someone who just insulted your intelligence, hoping the spotlight will move on. I stayed quiet because I was terrified of conflict, not because I was strategic. Which brings us to the part that actually matters, the truth about who you really are. And that's exactly why we need to redefine your identity right now. The reason you freeze under pressure isn't a permanent flaw in your character. It is just a history of choosing peace over conflict. For years, you have conditioned yourself to absorb the blow just to keep the room stable, mistaking your silence for safety. But you need to understand something fundamental right now. You are not broken. You are simply untrained. And untrained means you can be trained. You are a quiet observer who has spent a lifetime protecting others, diffusing tension, and carrying the emotional weight of the crowd. But you forgot that you are also worth protecting. Their petty attempt to diminish you is a reflection of their horizon, not your worth. The moment you realize their insult belongs to them, not you, the trap loses its teeth completely. You no longer have to carry their toxic baggage home with you. But knowing this identity shift isn't enough. You need the exact blueprint of what to do the next time the trap opens. Here is what I do if I were you. Step 1. Deploy the 4-second stare. Do not speak. Do not blink. Look directly at their forehead for 4 full seconds. Most people scramble to fill the silence with a nervous laugh or a weak defense, but silence is where you reclaim your status. By staring at their forehead instead of their eyes, you signal absolute emotional detachment. Step 2. Ask the clarifying question. Say calmly, what was the goal of that comment? This forces them to explain their joke to the entire room, which instantly kills the humor. When a bully has to break down their own insult under a microscope, their social authority completely evaporates. Step 3. Move the metric. Turn away physically and address someone else entirely, giving the attacker exactly 0 seconds of engagement. You aren't running away. You are actively deciding they aren't worth your attention. Step 4. Execute one hard thing first. Break the tension by shifting environments or changing the topic instantly. Say, moving on, and switch tasks. Most people skip this, but it's the one that actually works because it resets the entire room's focus on your terms. But knowing this isn't enough. Here's what actually changes when you take control of your psychological narrative. Section 8. Section 8. The identity shift to reframe. 90 words summary. This section functions as the viewer's psychological takeaway. It reframes their heightened sensitivity from a weakness into a superpower of social acuity. It focuses entirely on small wins, urging them to start reclaiming their power with just one small boundary today. Key lines. Your deep awareness of social dynamics is not a weakness. It is a superpower that lets you read a room faster than anyone else. You are no longer the invisible target. You are the strategist who controls the emotional thermostat of the room. Spar and anyone else, you are no longer the invisible target. You are the strategist who controls the emotional thermostat of the room. By shifting from an external to an internal focus, you turn their narrative into your leverage. It all begins today with one small boundary, one intentional silence, one more try. And when you step into that power, you will never look at a social attack the same way again. If this reached you at the exact moment you needed it, I put something much deeper together for this. Check the pinned comment and subscribe to our Inner Thought 26. Join a community of people who are learning to build an unshakable locus of control. Stop letting insecure actors direct your life script. The gap between being humiliated and being unshakable is not a secret talent. It is just one intentional boundary. Your respect is not given by others. It is retained by you.